So are you looking for a very solid summer cheapie fragrance? Because if you are, you're absolutely going to want to check out Hugo Reversed. Hey, what's going on guys? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, what I do is I make fragrance related content. So if you love fragrances, go to smash the subscribe button down below. But that's right guys, we're going to be reviewing a cheapie from the house of Hugo Boss that's perfect for the summertime. And that is easily available because they've been popping up at like your local rack stores and stuff like that. And of course I'm talking about Hugo Boss, Hugo Reversed. Now, Hugo Reversed is actually my first Hugo Boss fragrance. I have smelled quite a few from them. Even though there are some that are definitely good from like the Boss bottle line or some solid ones, but this is the first one I've actually smelled that comes in these bottles. I'm not sure exactly what these bottles are called, but there are quite a few different ones. So Hugo Reverse is the first one from the house within my collection. I've just never really been that interested in the house of Hugo Boss. There's nothing really that's caught my eye. If you guys know some that are definitely worth checking out and picking up, let me know down below. But Hugo Reverse is actually a very solid summer, fruity, very vibrant and fresh fragrance that's perfect for the warmer, sunny months. So let's go over some information about Hugo Reverse. Now, Hugo Reverse was launched in 2018, so it is actually fairly new. As far as the retail prices go, now for a 75 ml, it does retail for $67, and for 125 ml, it retails for $82, I believe. Those are just the retail prices from Hugo Boss. You can absolutely pick these up for like around 20-25 bucks at like your local TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and stores like that. These are heavily available there, so definitely not worth it in my opinion for the higher like $67 to $80 range. But for 20 bucks, man, this is pretty much a steal for the summertime. Now, I tried to do some research to find the perfumer behind Hugo Reverse, but it is unknown. I do not know who the perfumer is behind this one. So if anyone knows, leave a comment down below, but I could not find that out. So let's go over the packaging and presentation you will get with Hugo Reverse now. All right, so looking at the box does, of course, have the outline of the bottle. Hugo, which is reverse, which I think is actually kind of interesting. Of course, I do have the 75 ml, and this is an eau de toilette concentration. Hugo Boss in red on the top. Then you also have Hugo Boss pretty much embossed on that side, which is kind of a nice touch. And you actually have your top notes, heart notes, and base notes right there, which is cool that they actually include that and just some of your information. Then on the bottom, you do have your barcode and batch code to authenticate your product and see when your product was produced. Now, of course, this is just your traditional generic designer box. So yeah, nothing really to complain about or nothing that really blows me away. So take a look at the bottle. Now, to be honest with you guys, I think this bottle looks incredible. I love the font they use with the black and white tones. And then on the cap, what's interesting about this cap is it's actually a screw-on cap, kind of like older Mancera bottles. And it does have a claw thing so you don't lose the cap. But to be honest, man, this cap is extremely cheap. It's made out of plastic, and this thing is very, very cheap looking as well. Kind of looks like a kid's toy, to be honest. So yeah, not high quality by any means, but it's not the end of the world. Then on the bottom, you do, of course, have your sticker with your information as well, and then nothing on the back. So that is the bottle presentation. In the top notes, you have grapefruit and bergamot. In the middle notes, you have rosemary. And in the base notes, you have vetiver. So yeah, just like 4 notes listed there. So of course, you're not gonna expect this to be a very complex kind of fragrance. It will be a linear fragrance just based on those notes alone. So yeah, let's go ahead and test out the atomizer and see how this thing sprays. Okay, I mean, it does actually spray kind of decent. The only thing I don't like is with this cap hanging, it kind of gets in the way of the sprayer and stuff like that. So yeah, that is a little gripe of mine. So in the opening of Hugo Reversed, man, this is just such a solid, fresh, fruity fragrance. In the opening, you do have that grapefruit combo alongside the bergamot, which just makes it very vibrant, extremely juicy, to be honest with you guys, and just very bright. Pretty much like the perfect combination for a summer fragrance, especially in the opening. It's just so luscious. I can just see myself chilling out by a pool with the sun on me wearing this one. It's just that kind of vibe from it, very, very bright. And for 20 bucks, guys, that opening is very nice. Now, I will tell you guys, you do get some of that rosemary, which adds a little bit of earthiness or a little bit of greenness to the opening as well, to make it a little bit different and unique than just a combination of the grapefruit and bergamot only. So it does add a little bit of a flair to the composition of the opening of the fragrance, which is a nice touch. But to be honest with you guys, looking at that note breakdown is pretty much what you get. What you see is what you get when it comes to Hugo Reverse. It doesn't change that much at all. The only thing that does change as it dries down is you do get a vetiver, which adds a little bit of a woodiness and a little bit of a grassiness to the fragrance in the dry down. And maybe get some kind of like white musk as well, even though it's not listed. It does come across like a clean musky fragrance in the dry down alongside the vetiver, but that is pretty much all you're gonna get with this one from the opening to the dry down. It's not like a totally different story when you first spray this one and smell it 4 hours later. It's gonna have that same kind of DNA with not much changing. Now, Hugo Reverse actually does get compared to Rose Parfums Elysium, because that's also known to be a very bright grapefruit in the opening and a vetiver dry down. Even though, guys, the complexity of Rose Parfums Elysium's out of this world. That is the most complex spring summer freshie I've ever got my nose on. That thing just changes within every hour. Unlike Hugo Reverse, which comes across extremely linear, nothing really changes. You do get like a generic kind of a grapefruit, bergamot, and a vetiver in here that doesn't smell that natural. It does, for some reason, have like a synthetic kind of feel to the composition of the fragrance. Even though that opening is very, very good, it just doesn't really smell that natural compared to like Elysium. That thing is just extremely high quality, some of the most natural ingredients, and just very luxurious compared to this. But if you're on a budget and you love Elysium, of course, you're gonna absolutely love this one, especially if you're a younger guy, which we'll segment into now. Who I actually see wearing this one, guys. This does smell very youthful and juvenile to my nose, like some kid in high school that just wants to spray a fragrance on so he doesn't stink. Maybe to smell good and looking for compliments. This is the perfect fragrance for that. Like if I had a person in high school recommending or wanted me to recommend him a fragrance, Hugo Reverse would definitely be on the top of that list for that. It is a little bit kind of forgettable, a little bit boring. There's not, for me at least, because I've smelled so many complex fragrances through my journey. And this one just being so linear, a little bit synthetic, a little bit sharp. It's kind of generic to me, guys. I don't see myself really reaching for this one compared to other summer, spring fragrances in my collection. But it doesn't mean that it's a bad fragrance. This does not smell bad to the average person. This is extremely crowd pleasing. I can see this one pulling a ton of compliments in the high heat weather. But also, as far as the performance, is another reason why I just won't reach for this one that often. So let's talk about the performance now. The longevity is absolutely lacking, guys. I get around like maybe 4 hours on my skin of, I guess, solid longevity. The projection also, I get around like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours top of pretty decent projection off of my skin. And then it just settles down to kind of a skin set through the life of the fragrance up to around maybe 4, maybe tops 5 hours of longevity. So it definitely is lacking for that. It's the kind of fragrance you're not gonna wanna wear, like spray on in the morning and expect it to still be performing in the evening time. This is a fragrance you're gonna wanna reapply, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because of the price. You can get this at for around 20 bucks. You can definitely reapply this and not feel guilty about trying to get through your bottle very, very fast. So that's a nice thing. Now, as far as like occasions go and seasons, of course, spring and summer primarily, because it doesn't have the potency to push through the winter. It's not a fall fragrance. It's not earthy or really woody for the fall. Definitely a spring and summer prominent fragrance because of the freshness, the fruitiness, and just the vibrancy and the brightness of this fragrance. Perfect for that. Now, for occasions of Hugo Reverse, this is 100% a casual fragrance. You just spray this on to run errands, if you're going out to hang out with buddies or something like that. If you're in school, if you're going to work, that kind of scenario, this is perfect for that. It's not a formal fragrance by any means. It doesn't smell sophisticated. It doesn't smell mature. Like I said, it's very youthful and playful kind of, and just juvenile altogether. But at the end of the day, guys, it is a solid, cheap freshie for the spring and summer without a doubt. The opening is very, very well done. It does change slightly, even though it's a linear fragrance, to the base of that grassy kind of vetiver note. Yeah, at the end of the day, is it worth 20 bucks? 100%. I will buy this fragrance for 20 bucks any day of the week. I might wear this one sometimes, maybe if I'm just going to a pool where I'm going to be swimming, so the fragrance that I wear is going to pretty much rub off anyways in the pool, so I don't have to reach for a very expensive like niche fragrance for that, which will kind of be of a waste. But yeah, that's the only time I'm going to reach for a Hugo Reverse. So let me know down below if you've actually tried this fragrance, and also if there's any solid Hugo Boss fragrances you would recommend me to try, definitely let me know, because I wouldn't mind exploring this house a little bit more and see what they have to offer. But per usual, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch all you guys in the next upload. Take care, everybody.